Hello trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators. Today's video is called Don't Set Goals with Your Participants. Don't set goals. Sorry to spin you around there, so to speak. But today's video is about don't set goals, create a vision. Don't set goals, create a vision. Now that may sound or seem like exactly the same thing, but what we need to appreciate is when we're first starting out a workshop, your learners are only able to experience today because all they can see is today. All they are experiencing is today. So if you want them to go out and do different, be different, act different as a result of what you're teaching them, training them, educating them on, you need to help them create a vision of what that would actually look like if they use your content, or they actually learned from you and deployed the skills that you taught them, right? Now, it may seem like a very, very obvious thing, but the thing is, at the end of the day, a learner, a human, a participant, an audience member can't actually be different, act different, unless they can see it in their mind first of all. So I really want to encourage everyone that's trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, mentor to really, at the beginning of any workshop that you're running, ask great quality questions that help create that vision or that new tomorrow. And some questions I absolutely love, that I've come to love over the years of training and presenting, and I've done this for about 12 years now. Number one, I'm going to ask my learners, what would be an ideal outcome that you would love to create as a result of completing this training? I'll say it again. What would be an ideal outcome that you would love to create as a result of completing this workshop, this training, this event, whatever it may be, right? And then I'll get them to write it out, right? And, clarify that as much as possible. The second question is, what is the biggest challenge that you're experiencing right now in the area of X, in the area of leadership, in the area of public speaking, in the area of, sales, right? And get them to clarify what's the biggest challenge. The third question I love to ask is, what are 3 things that you would love to learn as a result of going through this training? What are 3 things you would love to learn as a result of going through this training, or that you would love to focus on? Next question is one of my favorites, which is, what could be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as you go through this training? Will it be distractions from home? Will it be using a computer? Will it be navigating, a particular issue, whatever it might be, outside the training? Next question is, how will you mitigate that challenge? How will you get around that challenge? It's a really great strategic question. It really puts personal accountability back on the learner. And next one is another great question to create accountability is, how will you show up powerfully to ensure that you get the results that you are wanting from this training? I'll say it again. How will you show up powerfully, or what will you do specifically to make sure that you get the results that you want from this training? Okay. Now, another final one that I absolutely love to include is, how will you reward yourself? How will you reward yourself for attending this training? Now, these questions are really, really powerful because they're going to tap into the imagination and the creative power of the audience member's mind. And they're also going to hold the learner themselves accountable for what they go through, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to equip and empower your learners, your participants, to start to set a new trajectory for their own life. And they can only ever do that if they can actually see a brand new tomorrow and create a different tomorrow than they are living today. Create a different tomorrow than they are living today. Folks, I really want to encourage you to, start to play with some of these questions at the beginning of all of your workshops and see some of the results that play out. And for me, I really started to do it very early on because I knew I had a lot of learners that often came to workshops because they had no choice, right? And they came because they wanted the piece of paper. So the first question is really, really important, which is, what's the biggest outcome that you would love to achieve as a result of coming to this training? And not necessarily just getting the piece of paper. What would you love to create as a result of getting that piece of paper? And it's a really powerful reframe, and I really encourage all of you to set up some questions that can help your audience to set a new tomorrow. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. If you did, like, comment, share. Let's get the message out there, and really appreciate everyone that's supporting the channel, and really excited to support you guys to be the best trainers, presenters, coaches, facilitators you truly can be when you're running training events. Thanks for watching, team, and we'll see you on the next one.